and as such will not be prepared with whatever we have, we must continue enriching ourselves. Back to you, Rev. What can you tell men about ego and pride? Because I know most of the places where men fail is because of those two main things. If it's a family or marriage, you will not want to apologize to your wife if you are the one who is wrong. If it's in your work area, you might see somebody telling you to do something, but you look more muscular than they are. You feel like, what are they trying to tell me? What can you tell us about basically humility? We have interacted with you, we know you, and we can emulate you. But before we emulate you, what can we learn? Or what should we learn?
Well, what I can say is, first of all, there's a warning in the Bible about pride. So if there's a warning about pride, then as a man, it is something that you should really run away from. Because the Bible says pride comes before a fall. So if you want to know you're going to fall, then check your life. If there's a lot of pride in your life, then just know that your end is going to be not a very good end. Now, as a man, you need to know that the way you have been created, you have slightly a larger ego than that of a woman. Partly because of how you're built, you feel very strong, isn't it? Can you check your arms? Are they strong? Do you have some muscles? You feel like you can hit somebody, isn't it? Man, you're not talking to me. You feel strong, isn't it? The way you are, you feel strong. You feel energetic. You feel athletic. And then there are so many things that you see you have as a man that kind of give you an edge over the weaker vessel. And so you also must be very, very careful as a man to notice that those things are not given to you so that they can inflate your ego, but they're given to you so that you can be able to do things that can be able to benefit other people, especially the female gender that is around us. Now, another thing that you need to understand as a man, that as much as you have been positioned to be a leader, as much as you have the aggression that you have, the boldness and the courage that you have, there's a way you feel as a man inside of you. You need to understand that proper authority is authority that is under another authority. And so as a man, you need to know that you are not a creature of impunity, that you are also submitted to somebody else, and that is God. You see, when God created Adam and he placed him in the Garden of Eden, God gave him instructions and he told him, look, I have put you here to be in charge. Take care of this garden, take care of the animals in this garden, and whatever you name them, I will agree with you. But also God ensured that Adam understands that there is another authority over his life. That's why God told him, listen, eat from any other tree, but this tree, don't touch it. This one is mine, don't touch it. So God was trying to establish authority over his life. So as a man, you also need to understand that there is authority above you. So that should keep you humble, because you know that there is God and he's watching over you, and you are submitted, to him, and you will do what he tells you to do. So if he says you should not walk in pride, then you cannot walk in pride. If he calls upon you to be humble, and he tells you to humble yourself because you're submitted to him, then automatically you're going to humble yourself, before him. And that is how God will continue to lift you, and that is how God will continue to bless you. Humility pays 24/7. Humility will always bring increase and elevation in your life. Pride, ego is something that you should run away from, because it's going to destroy your life. So if God says run away from something, run away from it because you're submitted to him. And be humble.
Powerful. The reason I asked you that question is in our lives, we'll find ourselves advancing in life today I might have more money than I had yesterday. Tomorrow I might have more authority than I had yesterday. So the key point that we are getting from this is we have to be humble, despite where God has taken us up to. Let's not change by every other day when a different authority is stamped on to us. Let's just keep on moving. Now, I don't know if there's anyone who has written down a question or is willing to ask one. You have a question, Steve? Anyone else? Anyone written? I can collect the written ones. Okay. Before I let Steve ask a question, I would like Dr. briefly to tell us about men and their health. I know it's there's a client, a doctor-patient confidentiality, but there must be things that are commonly in your field that you might find that most men will seemingly suffer from this. And how can we avoid these diseases or issues, as we might term them politely?
Okay. The men I've encountered on my line of work, they have issues, and one of them being diabetic. That's the most common. Pressure. Then the other things, they are basically some of the men, they come and they don't want, if they come with a wife, maybe the man has an issue of STI, but